Hi, and thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. Glad you made it today. Wanted to talk to you about a couple things. One is the 100% rating, and two is the VA funny math, right? We all know about it, but I'm going to give a couple examples of how that works. But first, let's dive into the 100% rating aspect and some of the misperceptions around it and why some people kind of get hung up with either A, pursuing it, or maybe being a little bit judgmental on those that do have it. And this is just for the sake of clarity and understanding the whole VA process, what's available, and what sort of ratings are out there. So please hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend, comment below, all that good stuff. And by all means, look, I don't know everything, right? I'm just trying to get information out to spread awareness, do your own deep dives, share information in the comments below, share with each other. That's what it's all about, a brother and sisterhood of, if somebody else is further up a ladder, reaching down and helping the next one up, right? That's what we're supposed to do, and we're going to continue to do it today. So, 100% rating. When I speak, sometimes I'll speak to groups and so forth regarding transitioning from the military. And when I talk in those groups, I talk about some of the misperceptions within the VA rating world. And what happens is sometimes we tend to create our own definitions around things that we hear, like service-connected disability. Service-connected disability makes us, in our own minds, go, yeah, I know what that is, especially in the realm of VA compensation. In that context, I know service-connected means that the military probably did something to me that caused a disability, so service-connected disability. And although, yes, you can file a claim for something that happened to you during your service with the military, right? Humvee fell off of a lift, hurt your leg, and now you have a disability because you have a limp in your leg. Yes, of course you're going to file for that. But the funny thing is that's not actually what the VA means by their definition of a service-connected disability. Also, a service-connected disability could be GERD, heartburn, right? Could be sleep apnea, could be migraine headaches. And although these things are debilitating, we often don't view those as I'm a disabled person. So one is kind of shaking out some of the ideas around what you can even file a claim for. The other thing is the 100% designator. 100% in itself means that that's the maximum that you could be. So what happens to all of us is we unless you actually dive into it, and I'll tell you, I already know that many of you on this video watching this right now already get this. This is really about, and if you do, hit the thumbs up because it's going to help get it out to those that don't know. And that's the whole point of this, right? So even though you may know this information, you watching this information, thumbs upping, subscribing, those types of things help to pass the word along to our other brothers and sisters that have no clue, right? So the 100% designator sounds as though that's the maximum, which means in our own minds we think, okay, well, 100% rating should be, if it's the highest, should be reserved for, the person that was rolling in the convoy and got hit by an IED and, isn't doing too well, right? That 100% rating should be reserved for that person. The reality is that there's a whole other rating schedule called special monthly compensation. That's where that person will most likely be rated, is on the special monthly compensation rating schedule, which pays out over $10,000 on the high level. In addition, people with severe disabilities from their military service can also get adaptive housing, adaptive car. If you have, and you don't even need to be 100% or on special monthly compensation for this, clothing allowance, right? So there's all sorts of different things that kind of get added on to your disability compensation. And when we talk about disability compensation, just remember there's two rating schedules. There's the 0 to 100%, which is most of us. And then there's the special monthly compensation, which can go up to very severe situations. So I just like to frame it that way, so there's a difference, right? So you can see that, okay, now I can kind of see that there's two different schedules, but still 100%, that's a big number. Well, 100% rating with the VA, for example, I'm just going to rattle off a few ratings for you to just put in perspective how high some of these things are. And on that note, what happens also is we tend to get a little bit hamstrung and hyper-focused on a couple conditions that we may have that we feel are really bad and they really bother us, and that's what I'm going to go after. And I'm going to get the VA to really, hook me up for this condition that really is bothersome. Well, the maximum rating for that condition that really bothers you might only be 10% or 20% or 30%. Meanwhile, you may have other conditions over here that you could file for that have higher ratings, but you don't even realize it. So opening up your mind is really important when it comes to the 100% rating. So a few conditions, I'll just make a fictitious person here, has sleep apnea with a CPAP machine, 50% rating. They have horrible migraine headaches, super debilitating, and it causes them to miss work, and they're rated 50%. They have pretty severe GERD, right? So bad heartburn, regurgitation, some vomit, pain all up and down. They're super stressed out. GERD can cause major issues. So they could be potentially rated at 60%. So you can see there, already 250s and a 60, right? So you can see how quickly ratings can add up. Throw in that person now has a lumbar strain, and it's a lower rating. It's a 10 or a 20%. But the doctors found that there's some arthritis buildup in there, and they got rated 40% for the arthritis. And now they don't sleep very good because they're tossing and turning between the back pain and the CPAP and everything else. They have insomnia due to their service-connected conditions, and they have another 30%. So there's this kind of compounding thing that can happen to your ratings, and you can really get up there quite quickly. Now, the problem with the VA rating system, as we shift into the funny math here, the problem with the whatever, it is what it is, right? I'll call it a problem. The way that the VA's rating system works is it's not rating plus rating plus rating equals your percentage. It's percentages of percentages. So in fact, the closer you get, it's almost the harder it is to get there. So 50 and 50 does not equal 100 in the VA math world when it comes to your rating. I'll give you a quick example. Say somebody has 3 ratings of 50%. 50, 50, 50. So 50 for their head, 50 for their back, 50 for their leg. So they got 3 50s. The VA is first going to look at all of their ratings and go, okay, which one's the biggest, the highest rating? And they're going to go, okay, this is your highest rating. And they're going to take that rating and they're going to say you're 50% bad, because in this case, they're all 50s. So you're 50% bad. But what that means is you're still 50% good. So then they're going to take your 50% good, go over, look for your next highest rating. In this case, it's still a 50. 50% of your 50% good is 25%. So 25% plus your 50 bad is 75. So now you're 75% bad, but guess what? That means you're still 25% good in the VA's world. So 25% good. They look over, grab your last rating, 50%. 50% of your 25 is 12.5. They add that to your 75% bad, taking you to 87.5. They do a quick glance, no other ratings, cool, your 87.5 rounds to 80. That's your final VA rating. Then they round it to the nearest 10. In this case, you would round up to 90%. So 350s is not 150, it is 90. So you would have a 90% rating in the VA. So now, in this situation, you have your 87.5, right? And so that's an important number to know, is your true number. So that way, as you're looking to add additional conditions, you would be able to then understand where it's going to take you, right? So, for example, this is going to be a little bit hard now. So, what is it? 12.5% to 100, right? So 12.5% to 100 is what you're good. So 12.5 good. So if you had another 50% rating, right, that's 6%, right, almost 7. And that would be added to your 87. So that takes you to, it might take you to 95. I got little half points and stuff. I didn't write anything down. So you're either going to be at 94 or 95. If you're at 94, you're still going to round down to 90. And if you're at 95, you will round to 100. So with that, I'll go ahead and cut it here. And somebody can correct my last math since I didn't write it down or anything like that and didn't want to flub it up too bad. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.